Let's talk about men that don't understand what it means when they say someone is a high value man. Imagine someone calling Offset a high value man because he has money.
Judge a woman off of her past. Offset is trending all over the internet. Why would you make a woman your wife, your girlfriend, your baby mama, or have any significance or give her your heart or anything like that with a woman who is not suitable to be with a man like...
A man like who?
Offset, high value man, high earning men.
You seem to think that a high earning man is the same as a high value man, and they're not the same, but go ahead.
Stop thinking that your game is good enough to make a woman be something that she is not designed to be. You can't save every woman.
Just because a man makes a lot of money doesn't mean he's a high value man. There are millionaires and billionaires who are morally bankrupt. Some of them have zero integrity. Not to mention the fact that Cardi has always made more money than Offset. He was splitting his money 3 ways. This man is a well-documented cheater. He cheated before and during the marriage. So why is it that men need to be careful about a woman's past? What about his past? Here comes the usual double standards. Her body count counts, but his doesn't. Her past counts, but his doesn't. Like, don't y'all get tired of this? When are you all gonna hold yourself to the same standard that you were so quick to judge a woman by? Offset was always too insecure to be with a woman like Cardi. That's why he always cheated on her with fans of his. Some men are quick to say that you can't turn a you-know-what into a housewife. You also can't turn a no-good lying cheater into a faithful husband. Cardi's fatal flaw was asking a shirtless man for the shirt off his back. He couldn't give her what he didn't have.
Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
So you believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about what? 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year. And I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
Okay, before we go, what's your math saying?
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. A top tier man, they lead with love, not with dictatorship, right? They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself. A top tier man supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman. A top tier man is in leadership and working as hard as he is to give the woman the life of her dream.
And with all that stuff that you just said, that was just womanese talk.
Womanese is also 6'4", black, attractive. I don't know too many women in my circle who desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids.
Whenever we were walking out of the restaurant, he opened the door for me.
Bare minimum.
Whenever we got back to his place, he complimented me on my...
Bare minimum.
Whenever we were going to bed, he gave me a forehead kiss.
I had to play the other video clip because it fits in this conversation. I played that video clip in a video I posted yesterday. I blame women for creating that room for low value, low effort, low quality men to now start thinking that they qualify to be called top tier or high value men. Having money is bare minimum because that's what you're supposed to do. Having height, we shouldn't count that because that came from God. Looking good came from God. If you're maintaining your looks, it's bare minimum because that's what you're supposed to do. Imagine Offset being called a high value man because he has money. That man is a chronic cheat. I'm not the one making up the story. It's all over the internet. He's been cheating on Cardi B, not just Cardi B. So imagine him being called a high value man. What happened to his character? What happened to how he's been treating the person he was married to? Offset is a chronic, unrepentant cheat. He's still going to cheat on Cardi B. If they decide to get back together, he's still going to cheat on her. Ladies, we should stand on business. Stop lowering the bar and getting carried away by bare minimum gestures. It's not helping anyone.
What can a man get from a wife that he absolutely cannot get from a girlfriend?
This was a question that a woman asked on a panel, and Kitty Rose answered it beautifully. I'll tag her so you can go follow her. But there's something that bothers me about this question. The only reason that this is even a question is because we have completely abandoned standards and boundaries. There are certain things that should only come with marriage, and certain privileges that should only come with commitment. But so many of you have decided to give people the privileges of commitment without the commitment. And I hate to break it to you, but the reason so many men will not commit to a woman is because they're already getting the perks without being a member. And I wonder, do women ever have an epiphany when they're maybe washing his dishes, picking up his dirty clothes, birthing his third child? Do you ever wonder, when will this man ever commit to me fully? And I don't know how to fully articulate what I'm about to say, but if you are just his girlfriend that happens to live with him, happens to do things for him, he is still committed to you to the same degree that he's committed to any other woman. He hasn't formally expressed any desire to be with you fully forever until death do you part. He has not decided to back you legally, because there are legal backings with marriage, and he is not afraid of losing you to another man who might want to marry you. So yeah, the only reason that this is even a question is because so many of you have decided to give the privileges that should only come with commitment to someone who has no intention of committing to you.
I walked in my door today from running errands, and the first thing that I thought about was, I'm so happy that I didn't come home to nobody waiting on me here. I would have been disgusted. Get your ass out. What are you doing here? Like, I couldn't imagine just somebody just living with me every day right now. I love my solitude. And to think that some of y'all is living with people and going home to people every day that you don't even like. Yeah. I like my personal space. I like being able to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. I like silence. You hear that? I like, the only thing I can hear is my AC, and I like that. How are people doing it? How you going home to somebody you don't like? Every day? Every day. And then to think that some people are doing it and they're not even married. You're not even married to this motherfucker. And you going home to him every day, you don't like him? I know a lot of people doing that shack up shit. Because y'all splitting bills and things like that. Because you can't afford to do it. Never mind. Never mind.
This shows that not everyone is meant to get married. Some people naturally don't like others in their space. Some people don't even like their fellow humans. Imagine forcing yourself on a man like this. What do you think the outcome might be? This is also the reason why some women are with men that don't like them. Some men naturally hate women, but the society preaches marriage, tells everyone to get married, forcing people that don't like themselves to be together, all in the name of marriage.
So at the time when I met this man, I was a Christian. And of course we did the whole Christian thing where we got married fairly quickly. Little did I know the person who I thought he was not who he was at all. I literally remember the day that we found out that I was pregnant, shit flipped like a fucking light switch. I mean, this man went from the nicest guy who came from a really good family to literally one of the most evil men that I've ever met in my life. I remember a few days after finding out that I was pregnant, I woke up in the middle of the night and he just was gone. And then I started seeing this pattern where almost like every 2 weeks or less, an argument would happen, and then he would use it as an excuse to go out and binge drink all night long. And let's just say whenever he would do that, 9 times out of 10, he would put his hands on me. I also remember when I thought that I was going into labor, I went to the hospital to go get checked, and the hospital would not allow him in with me because of how they heard him speaking to me in the waiting room. Just wait until we get into the following parts of the birth, what happened after, and where the fuck he was staying and what he was doing when he left me. Let's get into the gender reveal party that we had. I almost forgot about this one, and then I was at the gym today and I had a flashback like I was in the fucking war. So I threw a cute little gender reveal party to find out what the baby was going to be. I had some family come, I had some friends come, I was super excited. And we did our reveal, and surprise, it's a girl. He was pissed. He literally left the party. His brother had to go after him and try and get him to calm down and stay. I remember when he came home, he was just going off on me about how pissed off he was and how he's going to have to worry about her being a whore and a slut when she gets older. Here I am, pregnant, and having this little baby inside of me. And her father is already just saying the most cruel, fucking misogynistic things about this little girl. It was so crazy. It was so embarrassing. I had a lot of moments like this, but that was one of the moments where I knew that I fucked up. I just was so terrified for what I did and the fact that I had to raise a child with this man. He robbed me of how loving and joyful and how that's such a big moment in a woman's life to carry a baby. He robbed me of it all. He made me feel so guilty and at fault for our baby being a girl. My husband literally hopped on a train and left me 2 days after I gave birth to our daughter. I remember being told they found our vehicle at a train station. And I remember when I gave birth, he was overly nice. And it all kind of makes sense now because at the time he had this huge plan to hop on a train and leave me shortly after I gave birth to our daughter. He was gone for about a month and he blocked me so that I couldn't talk to him. And he was staying with his best friend, who at the time I was in contact with, and we would talk, and he would always tell me that he had no idea where he was at. But we couldn't find out where he went for the longest time. Come to find out, he went all the way across the country. I remember feeling so hopeless. It was probably one of the most depressing moments of my life because I was so young. I was so terrified to raise a child on my own. And my expectation was to raise a child with my husband and have a small family. And I also remember when he called me about a month later, and I thought the whole time that I just wanted him back. When he came back, I could barely even look at him. So it was a toxic relationship, to say the least.
Imagine being in a relationship or married to someone that hates women. He just confessed to how he views women. I know she said they hurriedly got married. Sometimes people change after marriage. After having kids, they change. Believe me, the signs and clues are always there at the beginning. I'm not going to say why did she hurry into the marriage. Sometimes you hurry into the marriage and you're lucky. Sometimes you take 15 years, 20 years, 5 years, 10 years to date and you still end up in a bad marriage. I think that man might be gay or he's cheating on her. Like she said, he uses tantrums as a cover-up just to get away from her. One thing that is clear from her story is this: that man hates her and her child.
They always come back. I need your guys' opinion on this story because I'm very, very torn. And for those of you that have been following me for a bit, this is a very full circle moment. So earlier this year, I was coming off of a kind of situationship breakup. I had been dating this guy for like 6-7 months and he didn't really want to commit. We just kind of hit this point of like, what's going on here? And I ultimately walked away and I was feeling good about it and hadn't been dating or anything for a couple months. And then I met this guy and it was the first time I felt like, oh, I'm really excited about someone in a while. This man happened to be 6'8". So that's what I think when I was talking about him, it was like that 6'8" man. We went on, our first date was so good. It was drinks and then dinner and really good conversation. And then our second date was a movie and it was really cute. It was like holding my hand. It was very, very just sweet. And then the communication, and he had been texting me like almost every day, just checking in and just, you know, sweet things, nothing too over the top. And then he was leaving town for this like work retreat thing, and the last text that he sent was like, okay, I'm going out of town, this like work retreat thing, I'll send you pictures when I'm there. And I'm like, okay, like have fun, can't wait to see. And the weekend goes by, nothing. Monday goes by, nothing. So Tuesday, I gave it like until the afternoon, still nothing. And this was especially odd just because of how much we were talking before. So I just had like a really bad feeling. I was also coming off of this thing with the guy that I was dating, the tech CEO dude, who I felt like his communication was just so inconsistent, and I had to, I told this man that like that was kind of my boundary because of all that. So I ended up sending him this text, and a lot of you disagreed with this text. Basically where I said, hey, you know, I've noticed a big shift in the communication. I'm not really sure what that was, but, you know, like for me, like that doesn't really work for me and what I need, blah, blah, blah. Said something, and then I said, wish you the best. Looking back, I should not have said, wish you the best, because it definitely sounded like I'm closing the door in his face. I didn't mean for it to come across like that. I wanted it, you know, I think looking back, obviously I wanted him to be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, give an explanation, want to meet up, and I got nothing. He basically said, yeah, I just thought we didn't need to like talk as much as we were before. I was gonna text you today and ask how your like St. Patrick's Day weekend was, but you know, you said wish you the best, like you're, I guess, not much more to say here, so yeah, I wish you the best too, or something like that. That was that. I didn't really mean to end things like that, but he really didn't try to fight for it or anything, which I didn't really realize I was testing him. Now, you know, growth moment, okay, like I can see how it was that. But then 2 weeks later, I did not share this with you guys because it was a little desperate. 2 weeks later, I was still bothered by it, and I texted him and said, hey, I just want to like let you know I didn't really mean to come across as harsh with that wish you the best as it did. You know, I was obviously like feeling a certain type of way, but blah blah blah, like, and I gave him the chance. I opened the door, and he never responded. So I was like, okay, you know, I did everything I could. I can't look back and regret anything. Now I just have to move on. And yes, I know it was only 2 dates, but I just had a really good feeling with this guy, and it seemed very mutual. So, you know, I thought like it was something worth fighting for and sucking up my pride and sending that text and just seeing, and I didn't get anything back. So that was that. Months and months go by. I've moved to New York. I am in a very different whatever. Saturday, I wake up to a text at 7 a.m. from this man saying, hey, what are you up to today? One, this man woke me up so early and I couldn't go back to sleep because of the anxiety then about getting that text. And then two, I was just like, what in this? So in my head, I'm like, do I respond? Do I not? Do I just like, what? But I still wanted so many answers that I never got and the closure. So I'm like, I'm spinning. Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Okay, I'm gonna make a part two. Sorry guys. I'm making a part two. Go to the part two.
Is she supposed to be confused on what to do? She was supposed to have blocked that man long time ago. He clearly ghosted her, and he doesn't care. She's thinking it was mutual. It wasn't mutual in any way. That man didn't care, and she came off as being desperate by messaging him 2 weeks later and asking him and explaining. That was desperation. That man is clearly not interested as much as she's interested in him. He's not interested in her, and she's still riding off on the good vibe she got when she first spent time with him. Men are pretentious. I'm sure he put up that act just to deceive her. That man might have hopped on to the next lady. That's most likely what happened. So him coming back to reach out to her, it could be he had a fallout with the lady, or he's no longer with the lady. He's single right now. He's looking for a replacement. Imagine her getting back with him. What do you think is going to happen? He's definitely going to ghost her again, because she just told him that, oh, she's happy with him ghosting her. Whenever you ghost me, you can always come back because I will accept you. That's the message she's passing across if she accepts that man back into her life. Please head on to her channel to watch the part 2 of the story.
I just became my enemy. I'm walking in the mall and I see my ex-boyfriend walking towards me, and he's hand in hand with his new girlfriend. They're like holding hands, they're looking at each other. We lock eyes, me and my ex-boyfriend, and we're about to walk across each other. Immediately he drops the hand of his girlfriend's, right? Drops it, steps in front of her, right? And then like doesn't acknowledge her. As we're like exactly crossing, I like look at him like, you know, like, this is awkward, like, hey, and he like gives me like a nod, and as I'm like walking,
he said, I'm looking for someone to make me feel the way that she used to feel. I'm looking for someone to do the things that she used to do. I was like, you can't just replace her. He said, I know, but I can try and get somewhat close to her. I said, are you even in love with this woman? He said, I'll grow to love her. I like her a lot though. She cool. I said, damn. Okay. Well, my friend wanted me to let you know to stop calling her. He said, I don't know. I'll try, but it's hard because I miss her that much. Whole time this woman's showing off the ring. She didn't even announce her pregnancy online, but my friend know that she pregnant because guess what? He told her. Ladies, don't let this be you because this whole situation is the making of a future single mother. See, this man might roll over one day and decide that he don't want her. See, y'all listen to these women that'll sit up here and tell you, oh, men know when they know. I was with a guy for 4 months and he proposed to me in 6 months. A lot of time they just trying to replace what they already had and lost. A lot of women realize that these men ain't worth half the hassle, but some women gonna be so desperate for love and attention and affection that they say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with it. Instead of questioning, instead of asking certain questions, instead of being intuitive and just using your senses and realizing like, maybe we rushing this a little too fast because marriage is supposed to be till death do us part, right? But y'all playing it like it's nothing. I feel bad for this girl because probably 2-3 kids in one day, when he roll over and say, I don't want to be with you no more, she gonna be like, what did I ever do? And baby girl, you probably did nothing. But this whole situation started way before you. Don't be nobody's replacement chick. I'm just saying.
The reason you think your life is better with a man is because you treat yourself better when you have a man. You don't dare clean your house unless you have company coming over. You don't try new restaurants unless a man is taking you. You don't even think about doing your hair frequently unless you got dates and things lined up. Sis, please, I promise you, you can do those things outside of a man. Because if you start to only do those things when you are dating or going after somebody or in relationship with somebody, you will convince yourself that that treatment is better with them when realistically, Miss Mamas, you can do all of that stuff on your very own. Go clean your house. Go wash the floorboards. Go get your hair done and do your nails for you. So then you can stop associating your life being better when you have somebody, because your life is perfectly fine without.
If you love videos like this and you would love to watch more, please click this video to watch how dysfunctional men derive joy in humbling and humiliating women. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.